Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live, brought to you by Bet365. It's me, Joey P. Joe Pizapia. That, of course, is the Welsh. And make sure, if you're doing your baseball wagering, you're doing it at Bet365 and using that promo code Leading Off, bet $5, get 150 in bonus bets. It's always a bonus whenever we get to spend quality time. No desserts today, which I'm a little bummed out about. I'm not going to lie, but some good stuff here already in the chat. I want to start with this from the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks. Lee G, friend of the show for, I think, since inception. Yesterday, Joey P was talking about all the other characters on the show, Cousin Donnie, Wonky Penguin, all the people. But what the show really needs is a theme song, and a theme song written by AI. Well, it's hard to argue that this isn't the best idea that we're going to see all month.
Ooh, but now who sings it? What is the AI voice of Leading Off?
I don't know. I don't know what that sounds like. I mean, I can only assume it sounds something like, "Oh boy, you guys like Leading Off? I sure do. I love Leading Off. It's the best show in the world. We love baseball. Oh, Jackson Holiday, you're adorable."
Why does he? He's like the cartoon character from Shrek, like, "Not my gumdrop buttons."
Yeah, he's very Pinocchio. Yeah, it's some hybrid of all those things. But let's get after it. We got a lot to do today, and of course, it's Thursday, and that means we're going to be prospecting with the Welsh. Hopefully you can get that pickaxe out of your head from that graphic. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel as always and click that bell for notifications. Ring it till it goes ding. Let's start here with Tanner Houck. 9 strikeouts for him. Beautiful complete game shutout over the Guardians. We were in on this one. Cha-ching. So I had a good day yesterday on the betting side, which is good. I needed it in the worst way. I've been stone cold for about 10 days now. But again, breakouts happen. Baseball's a long season. Pace yourself. Also, Welsh, fun fact. It was the fastest game since 2010, an hour and 49-minute baseball game. That's barely enough time to wait on the line for beer or to go to the bathroom.
Whoa, was it really? I mean,
yeah.
This is that whole, pitch clock and pace of game type of stuff. We've seen tons of minor league games push into 2 hours. It's something they experimented with the Arizona Fall League for quite some time. But under 2-hour games are wild to me. I didn't realize that it was that quick. I'm kind of down for it. I don't, like the dragged on games. There's something about 4.5 hours invested into like a 12-inning game or something that makes you want to dunk your head in water. So hour 40 commitment, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Donnie C, cousin Donnie says, do it 90s sitcom style. We might have to figure out how this works. That could be great. I mean, it should be like me turning around like,
oh my!
It just says Joe P under it.
That's a great idea.
Welsh is at a baseball game. He goes to catch a foul ball, he takes a foul ball away from a kid, and then like he's crying, and he's like this. He's like, actually, though, that's Mike Mayer's bit.
Yeah. Shoving a kid down on the ground.
There's a picture of Mike Mayer.
And then you and I are, and then it pans to you and I, and we're like, Mike.
You're so bad, Mike Mayer. All right, but yeah, quick games are good. It's good for baseball. I like it. I got more fun facts. I got a bunch of fun facts today. Cristopher Sanchez struck out 10, unearned run, allowed over 6 scoreless innings against the Rockies. Yes, again, we said the same thing yesterday when it was Suarez. We'll say it again. It's the Rockies. Who cares? I'm telling you, Welsh, I was worried. The only thing that worried me a little bit about my wager this year about the Phillies winning that division was the back end of this rotation. I don't think I'm worried anymore. Those guys are stepping up. Sanchez, Suarez, all these guys are stepping up. The guys at the top I know you can count on. Welsh, it feels like the Phillies are the team to beat in the East for me. I don't know if that's what you've gotten so far. Look, losing Spencer Strider was that one thing, too, that I was most fearful of. If Strider goes down, what does the rest of this rotation look like for Atlanta? I don't care how good the offense is. What are your thoughts on the Phillies so far this year in 2024?
Yeah, and we've seen Wheeler's had absolutely no run support early on in this year. Aaron Nola, up until that last game, had been kind of But like you said, you had Ranger and Cristopher Sanchez just absolutely lifting the team up. So it's great. Sanchez is a great fantasy option. His changeup has been incredible. Big sweepy stuff. Like a team like the Rockies, he's going to absolutely dominate, but it's not unheard of to think that he's going to be more than a 9K per guy all season long with maybe better earned run numbers and stuff like that. So I'm into both of those guys. And if you're talking about the grand scope of it, yeah, this team, it's pretty dangerous. They've got depth in the bullpen. It would probably behoove them to go and make a move a little bit more in the bullpen, or do like the Diamondbacks did, where they had the rotation kind of set, and then they're like, hey, we're going to go and pull the trigger on Jordan Montgomery. They could go out and just get one more piece to make that a robust rotation and a robust pitching staff when their offense is pretty dang good. It's a pretty dang good offense. It just needs to click, and it has really started clicking.
I mean, every year they do the same thing. They start off slow and they get red hot, and then they make the playoffs. And we'll see where they can gauge this year. But look, I think this might be. I picked the Phillies to go to the World Series too. I think it's the Phillies' year. I feel like it's one of those teams where it just feels right to me. It feels like they are knocking on the door, and it's one of the few places that has a home field advantage. There's a lot of places aren't a home field advantage. Philadelphia's still one of them. That place is raucous. It's loud. It's tough building to play in the playoffs. It's something. That's for sure. Here's one from Star Platinum. Should do the theme song to the Curb Your Enthusiasm song. I don't think we can get the rights to that, but I would like that. That would be the theme playing over my bets for the last 7 days. That would be.
But see, that's where AI could come in. Is you could do like a Curb or Office type theme. Ask AI to do again. But I don't know. Does AI make music? I don't even understand the whole
AI
scope
makes
of
everything.
It,
I'm actually artificial intelligence right now. I'm 90%.
I'm artificial.
Robot.
You're the intelligent.
I'm the intelligent. There you go. All right, let's talk about some guys who had some big starts yesterday. We previewed them. Now we're going to talk about the aftermath. Kevin Gausman, 1 run over 5 innings. Fastball velocity was at 94.8. He topped out at 97.9. That's a good thing. Obviously, 14 swinging strikes. So good start from Gausman. The ERA is still at 8, but I think let's start with Gausman here real quick. Welsh, I felt good about the start. I think everybody should. Do you agree?
Yep. This is that what we talked about. Like, hey, don't freak out. Don't lose your minds. Buy in on some of those elite guys, and Gausman's starting to get it back going.
Now, Max Fried gave up 3 runs in 5 innings. He walked 4 guys, gave up 7 hits. Now, it's the Astros, so again, the level of difficulty a little bit different here. But we were grading Gausman against the Yankees, so it makes sense to grade Fried here against the opponent. And against the opponent, it was kind of a shaky start here for Fried. So what's your panic mode on him?
I've been a little panic mode already. Like he was one of the, I wish it wasn't Logan Gilbert. It was like Fried and Logan Gilbert were like the guys that I was a little like not into coming into the year. Gilbert's been amazing. Fried has not. The early walks is it's either going to be this bad trend that's going to continue going and it's going to put him in really bad spots, or it's a complete anomaly. I'm not super into Max Fried. I don't think he's looked really consistent. And I just wasn't like an elite guy. So it's a little bit like my narrative base, because like Gausman, I'm like, oh, he's good to go.
He was
I'm not a Fried guy.
The health was a question going into the season. I put him as the red flag pitcher in the black book this year with good reason. And here we are. And Strider's already gone. If Fried isn't right, this is a problem for Atlanta. And it's going to be a problem as the season starts to go on, because other injuries are going to happen. It's just the nature of the beast. So it's already April and we're already in here. It's bad. Michael King was good, though. Very good. 10 strikeouts for him. Just 2 walks against the Brewers. Yeah, no Yelich in the lineup, but still 17 missed swings here, 25 called strikes, 109 pitches on this one. A lot of the data good. 96 miles an hour was where he was sitting at. So look, this was good here. He's now 2-1 with a 3 ERA. So this makes me feel really good, because another bad outing from Michael King was going to start to worry me just a little bit. This one was not just good, it was dominant. Now I feel really good, and I feel stupid because I had him on my bench in 1 or 2 leagues. I was like, oh, let's just kind of a show me start here. Well, he showed me I'm wrong for sitting him. What do you think about Michael King's start yesterday?
Yeah, I'm very encouraged about it. You mentioned 17 swing and misses for a 40% swing and whiff rate in this game. He had a 39% CSW. His fastball was getting stuff done. He actually had a 53% whiff rate on the fastball. His sweeper is just great. Velo was kind of up across the board, which was a good sign. He looked pretty consistent. I mean, he's a little walk heavy. He gets a little like walky, but he gets the strikeouts. He gets a swing and misses. And this is that version of Michael King that I was trying to sell in the preseason, that he could be elite like this. And the dude had a no-hitter going through like 5 or 6 innings. So very encouraged. Great opportunities if people were just kind of down on the slow start, which, by the way, faced the Dodgers multiple times to start the year. It might be a little bit of a more difficult struggle. And Michael King is really coming into himself. And those whiff numbers are very encouraging, because it looks like the starter version of him from last year. And that's what I love so much.
I'm looking at some of the, our Peanuts and Cracker Jacks in the chat. And I'm often wonder, people who come into this madness here who've just found this channel this year, the amount of inside jokes that are already like just from like 2 years are hilarious. Like Michael talking about Schwarberfest being back again. I mean, like things like that. Like, I just can't imagine what people are like, what are they talking about? Like, what are these crazy lunatics talking about? Stick with us. Watch us live. You be part of the lunatics. That's the way to go.
Wasn't
All
that
right.
like the Wawa thing?
It was the Wawa thing, which, by the way, I am so depressed because they closed the Wawa. After a decade of living in this town, they closed the small little Wawa on the corner of my street.
The Wawa.
Well, no, the Wawa. The Wawa is the place you go for breakfast sandwiches and coffee, and it's the place you go out for, you stop by for a lunch, or you're driving back from somewhere, or you're going to the beach that day, you get some hoagies. You get a hoagie at the Wawa. I'm so mad just because it wasn't a big enough Wawa, they closed it because they didn't have a gas station Wawa. It's our little Wawa. You took it away from us, and I'm mad about it. I'm pounding the table about it.
You're getting paid for every Wawa you mentioned there?
I don't know, but they should be a sponsor of the show.
We don't have those here. So I don't know.
Ezekiel Tovar, 3 for 5 with a run scored. He is slashing 306, 363, 486 with 3 homers, 2 steals in his first 80 plate appearances. I love this. He was one of our late pick guys. Ellie De La Cruz, his 5th home run yesterday, and Juan Soto 3 for 3 with a homer. So obviously good things from Juan Soto continue. Here's some fun stuff. Forrest Whitley game up. Forrest Whitley goes down, obviously, because Verlander's coming up. Today's Jack Leiter's debut, so we'll be obviously talking about that tomorrow. Mason Miller struck out 2 in another scoreless 9th inning, and Esteury Ruiz apparently came back as a power hitter. He is reincarnated. He stole a base, but he hit another home run too. Are you buying the power of Esteury Ruiz?
Yeah, he's actually the first thing I saw him when he was in complex ball, and he was a Royal at the time before he got traded to the Padres. And I thought he was like an Alfonso Soriano light. He had big power, double. He led the complex league rookie ball at the time in doubles. It's always been there. It's just been how to tap into it is what's fallen apart. They sent him down this year because they said his bat stunk. He kind of heated every call. He started walking more. He got on base, and you're seeing just a resurgence in the power. He's not a 20 home run hitter, but like, could he hit 15 in a season if he was hitting for high contact? Yeah, I kind of think
if he steals 60 bases and his 15 home runs, I mean,
he's a first round talent, but he's not gonna.
I mean,
the problem is he hits 210, or 220. But the A's have already kind of made this commitment. Like, if he doesn't hit, he's not sticking around. So I don't know. I'm encouraged, and a lot of you might have had opportunities to pick him up, being sent down, people dropping him. He's kind of a must add right now, especially because his opportunity is back.
All right, let's get to some more fun things here. Last year, I saw this, and I'll show it. I just want to bring it up here. Last year, there were 3.5 thousand stolen bases in Major League Baseball, 3,500 exactly on the button. That was the most, by the way, since 1987, which was the record high, by the way, 3,590. I thought that was fascinating that in 1 year that they almost broke the record, and it was the second highest number since 1987. And baseball in 1987, you had a lot of those guys, the 30-30 club guys, you had the guys like the Jose Cansecos and the, Darryl Strawberries of that time. There were guys who had power and speed. That was the thing. It was this big power speed combination. You had teams like the Cardinals that were, and they were, out there stealing bases, playing Whitey Herzog ball. It was a very different time. It was my peak viewing time in the mid 80s of my youth of capturing me with baseball. But I thought that's really interesting because I wonder now, you're talking about the early game, right? The quick game, hour and 49 minutes. You're talking about the steals being up. Maybe there is this opportunity here where baseball can continue to be on this trend and hopefully get this pitcher thing straightened out. That's really fascinating. Did you know that? Did you know that this was the second highest total in the history of baseball last year?
Yeah, I mean, I would have guessed it. The stolen bases were up percentile wise by like a dramatic margin, like dramatic. So I gotta be honest with you, I probably would have thought it was number one last year with the amount of, with Acuna and Esteury Ruiz and Corbin Carroll, like the stolen base numbers were not just up on the top end, they were up on everybody. And that's been kind of the key marker, which is so interesting because stolen bases went from this thing where everybody's chasing it. Everybody wants to get the high end stolen base guys to it kind of being a fade from last year into this year because it's like, well, everybody's stealing more, but the elite guys are still, at the tippy top. But then there's the Bryce Terangs of the world that are, leading baseball in stolen bases right now that we never really would have expected. But yeah, I would have thought it was number one. Rapid
flash, Xander Bogaerts has been hard. Yes, I would buy him, and I would buy Randy Rosarena, both of them right now. Two of my favorites. I don't know if they made the Welsh video for next week, but we shall see. Also, Sabo's Goggles, AI song, Where in the World is Kenta Maeda for Welsh? I support that. That's a good one. That would very
You guys don't forget.
No, again, the inside jokes are unbelievable. Welcome to leading off. Here's a fun one too. The Dodgers 7 through 9 hitters so far this year, 251 plate appearances, 4 doubles, 4 homers. Here's the slash line: 170, 227, 239. We talked about this lineup being top heavy. Welsh, it's been top heavy, but the top has been so good. What happens when the top comes back down to earth and Mookie Betts stop going 5 for 5 every day?
Well, I mean, the team's going to get shut out by the Nationals. That's what's going to end up happening. There's only so much they can
talk
do.
About the way that was the only thing I didn't hit yesterday was the stupid. It was 9.5. Even Vegas was like,
Jake
we should push
Irvin.
this one up to 9.5, and they got to 2.
Here's the thing though, like we can do those speculative things with the Dodgers, but like they lose one, they're not going to lose all of them, but they lose one, they still have like Ohtani and Freeman or Betts and whatever. Like it's so uniquely great on the top part that like we can't even do this pure speculation. What about the back end? But the depth of this team from an offensive standpoint completely suffers clearly. Like they have taken more of a priority defensively than it is often on the offensive side. And it's like having Gavin Lux out there every day doesn't make any sense. I think he's one of the worst offensive baseball players out there right now. So I'm not really sure what's going on. I do think they will make some type of a move. I don't know what that's going to look like in the midseason, but I think like that is something clear. Like you can't have that big of a discrepancy between the top and like, not just like that those guys are so talented, but you're so bad on the back half. Like they're going to fix that. The Dodgers are going to be the team that will fix that across the board because they got the assets to trade. Would have been pretty good if they had Michael Busch, though. Telling you right now.
Yeah, you would have been a help, that's for sure. Rookie lookie, then we'll get to prospecting with the Welsh. Parker Meadows, his first homer. There you go. Congratulations to you. And Jose Abreu went 0 for 2 and made an error. So I think it's time, ladies and gentlemen, to look for Joey Loperfido, because Joey, the pride of Philadelphia, 21 runs, 19 hits, 10 homers, 24 ribbies, 2 steals, hitting 297 with a 397 OBP and an 1194 OPS. I think people should start picking up this guy. If I made my waiver wire video today instead of yesterday, I would have added him. Welsh, what do you think about this as we transition into more prospect talk?
Well, I'll take him off the list because he was one of the prospects we were going to talk about, Joey Loperfido.
Well, no, don't. Instead, let's get to it. Prospecting with the Welsh. There's the pickaxe. And that's Welsh wielding it. And look at that. He's discovered baseballs. And he's going to discover some prospects you need to add to your roster. So, Welsh, let's start with Joey Loperfido. Joey Low, as I like to call him. Although in Philadelphia, it'd be Loperfido. That's how they would say it. Okay. Wawa. Joey, go get me a hoagie and a Coke. Come on, Joey. Yes. All right.
So let's talk about prospects that we are going to stash. Joey Loperfido is near the tippy top of the list. He is in this top 5 that I've got for you because he has been the most prolific power hitter so far in the minors. Interestingly enough, he had quite a few homers in the first couple games with a really bad low batting average, and then he has completely taken off. He's the only minor leaguer so far to have double-digit homers, and we're talking about like 15 or 16 games. He's gotten his batting average over 300, those double-digit homers, and the power is for real. But his ability to continuously maintain high batting average is the question. There was actually a broadcast a couple days ago when Joey Loperfido was, still popping with all the homers being at the very tippy top, and they had Astros management on, and they kind of poured a little bit of cold water on it, saying that he had a few little stance-based things to still work on. So pretty much what they're saying is like he kind of has like a lower body sense to how he approaches and comes up, that I think they want him to fix something in his approach before they make this big commitment. But there's also going to be some type of a push at some point where A, you want offensive support, and B, like this guy is just too good for this level.
Too good to be down there, but also Jose Abreu is done. Like he's going to get DFA'd, I think, by Memorial Day.
I don't think Loperfido is going to take a first base spot. He can kind of play around. He's been playing in the outfield, but they've also been playing like, Jacob Myers. Like Jacob Myers has been out there. Like Loperfido is the guy that they can put in there. But I worry a little bit about batting average. So I think you should pick up Joey Loperfido now and stash him, because I think we are in a 2 to 3 week window where he comes up. But beware that it could be a little bit open with some bad batting average.
Now, one guy that did make my waiver wire video this week, because he's only rostered in about 60% of leagues now because he got hurt to start the year, was Junior Caminero. I want everybody to add him again. Let's talk about Junior Caminero and maybe some ETAs in your opinion.
Well, we thought the injury was going to really pour a massive amount of cold water on this entire situation. He missed almost 2 weeks, but right on his day back, smash a home run, first game back, opposite field stuff. He just got crazy pure raw power. He currently has a 3.46 slash in the minors right now. I mean, absolutely absurd, over 600 slug. His strikeout rate has been a little bit higher than you want, and that might be something that the Rays hold back a little bit. He is walking. He's got 2 homers. He has a stolen base, and over 300 ISO right now. And Rays offense has been kind of, like I think they could justify it. The only problem is Isaac Paredes has been pretty good. So when they do it, the commitment's going to have to be an Isaac Paredes going to play maybe DH or Caminero and him going back and forth, unless they went back to his original spot of having him be a shortstop. Like Loperfido, a lot of these players I'm talking about, I think Caminero is in that 2 to 3 week window. We're closing in where you get extra year of arbitration. That's the most important thing to the Rays. But I think it's still going to be right around May, but he is at the top of the list because he's a top prospect in baseball, Joe.
Yeah. All right. Caminero, again, we all say James Wood's a guy we've been talking about a lot. He's just been tearing it up. So any change this week over last from the James Wood discussion?
Not that there's any just massive change outside of like this ticking clock is as big as it's ever been. And one thing I just wanted to point out, this is another guy, 3.45 slash currently, big numbers, 2 homers, 14 runs, 5 stolen bases. I want to remind you, he's 6'7", 240 pounds. But the most impressive thing, why I think not only is he coming up soon, but he's going to find success, is the lowered K rate. He has the same walk and strikeout rate right now, 20%, striking out 20% of the time and walking 20% of the time, which is absolutely crazy. He had an over 33% strikeout rate last year in AA. He's good friends with Jackson Merrill. He actually spent some of the offseason with Jackson Merrill. I like to pretend in my little world that he ended up getting some more plate presence and working on his strikeouts. He has got the tools of tools. When you think about the Ellies of the world, this is that guy. He's stealing a ton of bases. He is coming soon. And the Nationals are winning some games. There's only so much longer they're going to keep him down. Again, if May 1st hits and James Wood isn't up, I would be surprised.
Good question here from Brandon. Stashing Kjerstad right now, would you hold on to him or prefer Loperfido? I like Kjerstad better as a hitter from what I've seen, but, and it's not a knock on Loperfido, I just, that's how much I like Kjerstad. Here's my only thing. I feel like the Loperfido pathway is sooner. Like, I think right now Kjerstad's kind of stuck. Cedric Mullins is a big walk-off moment too. Like, I don't know if there's room at the inn right now for him, whereas Loperfido right now, I mean, the Astros are struggling. They need to figure some stuff out. What do you think?
I agree with you on that. I'll tell you this. Kjerstad's in an interesting spot because that team, that Norfolk team is ridiculous.
Oh
I do believe that he's the next Oriole to come up, except if something were to happen where the Orioles kind of let go of this Jackson Holiday stuff, where like Jackson Holiday, they've given him a very large rope. And if they were to decide to cut that,
I mean, come on.
But if they were to decide to cut that, it wouldn't make sense for Kjerstad to take his spot because he
Connor
doesn't
Norby
play
does, right?
Infield. No, Kobe Mayo. Well, Connor Norby would make some sense, but I think they move Westberg over to second, and Kobe Mayo would be a person to play third. But Kjerstad is
talk about embarrassment of riches. Like you can't even, it's crazy.
They're
is the
best.
Norfolk team better than the White Sox right now?
Maybe better than the A's. Yeah, maybe better than the White Sox. They would die to put that roster out here. But 7 homers for Kjerstad. You want to check out where he ranks versus Loperfido? Go check out my article on FantasyPros right now for prospects to stash. You can absolutely see where he ranks as a top 10 list. But I got 2 more in their pitchers, Joe, if you want to plow through them. Yeah, the easy, quick one is Paul Skenes. Paul Skenes, he's coming again May 1st. If he's not called up, I would be surprised. 20% swinging strike rate. He has an over 50 K- walk percentage, which is absolutely absurd. 3 starts, though, of 3 innings. They are saving those bullets or they're babying him. We still don't know. I'm leaning on saving those bullets, and he'll be up soon. And then finally, we've talked a decent amount about him. If we are highlighting a top 5 stash situation here, Christian Scott. Christian Scott with the New York Mets, we've talked about. His last start, 10 strikeouts over 5 innings. He's got a 4 ERA, but he's got a sub-1 whip, 19 strikeouts in 9 innings. I love the combination of the fastball slider with the splitter that he implements. And I think he's going to be up pretty soon. And there's more names over on my article, like I said, over on FantasyPros, or you can follow me on Twitter at @IsItTheWelsh to see it. 10 names and even a few more names that you can keep on your watch list moving forward in the year.
10 things I love about you, Welsh.
Oh, that would be a good one.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh, by the way, I love Heath Ledger. I think that movie's overrated. My daughters love it. I think it's a little overrated. I took a lot of heat the other day at dinner about this. It's like, I like it. I just think, I don't know. I wish I wanted it to be more than it was. And I'm a big rom-com kind of guy. I don't know.
Not a big rom-com.
I'm more When Harry Met Sally.
I'm kind of a prospect guy.
You're a prospect guy. There you go, everybody. All right, let's get to the 3 up and 3 down. Mike Trout, 1 for 4 with a homer. He just keeps hitting home runs. Kyle Schwarber, Schwarberfest, 2 more homers for him. Big win for the Philadelphia Phillies. And Bryce Miller, great performance from him over the Reds there. 1 run, 1 hit over 6 innings. 3 down. My boy Julian, 0 for 4, struck out 3 times. I don't like this, Welsh. He is striking out way too much. That's not his game in the minor leagues. I don't know what's going on with him. I'm a little worried. I'm a little annoyed. We'll see if it's just like a little blip on the radar. Something's bothering him. Confidence, whatever it is. Hopefully he figures it out. Also, David Bednar, not good. Gave up 3 runs in 2/3 of an inning. So things going south for him very quick. Speaking of the Pirates, too, Jack Sawinski, 0 for 4 against the Mets. He's hitting a $172. Is Jack Sawinski on the way to the waiver wire for a lot of teams?
For team, I thought you were gonna say like the Pirates. I'd be like, no,
not for the Pirates, but for fantasy teams. I think people are like, why am I holding this guy when there's a lot of like, I should be stashing Loperfido or Kjerstad or these guys instead.
That's actually a really good point. I was gonna say people might be kicking themselves if they had Sawinski, didn't want to drop him when guys like Colton Cowser were sitting out there. But yeah, at this point, Sawinski's not playing to a level that you should feel pot committed that you got to keep holding. Yeah, you could absolutely dump for a Kjerstad or a Loperfido if you're just looking for some production here soon. Because all those guys, all the 5 players we just talked about, like these are in the window of the next couple of weeks. We do this next week. This is going to be kind of similar again. Once we start going down this road, these guys should be coming up soon. Just like, hey, Jack Leiter was in my article from 2 weeks ago. He's already up. You're going to start seeing more and more of these, especially over the next couple of weeks. So yeah, better than stashing a struggling Jack Sawinski.
I'm going to get highfalutin here for a second with our friend here in the chat, BT Fouts. He says it's never easy to adapt Shakespeare. You're right, BT. It's not because Shakespeare is the greatest. So whenever you try to modernize it or whatever it is, you're already a step behind everything. So there you have it, everybody. Either commit to doing a version of the Shakespeare play, just set it in the high school, or don't do it. I'm with you, BT. It is very hard. We're talking about 10 things I hate about you. It's Taming of the Shrew adapted. See, I knew culturally you would never keep up with that.
Yeah, big stupid idiot I am. Yeah, would not.
Remember intelligence, artificial. This guy, intelligence here, there. I was going to HR report's going to be filed right after this. All right, let's get to the injuries. Not too many today, thank God. Brendan Drury was held out of the lineup yesterday. John Means, not good. Another bad one for him. 5 runs, 5 hits, and 1/3 of an inning. Yikes. And then Garrett Whitlock, who we knew was going on the IL, officially went on the IL. So there you have it, everybody. But we turned the page yesterday. We got hot again, or at least I did. So I'm excited to bring you today Thursday's best bets
of the day
with Joey P and the Welsh. That's right, everybody. It's a fun Thursday, limited slate, so we don't have a lot to choose from. But whenever you make your wagers, make sure you do it with Bet365. Use that promo code leading off, bet $5, get 150 in bonus bets. Welsh, going to keep it simple today. I use the Betting Pros tools today a lot for mine because the tools are spectacular. If you haven't already, download the Betting Pros app, check it out. Amazing what you could do there. But also using that prop bet cheat sheet is just perfect, especially on a day like this where things are a little light. Really helps you kind of zero in on the best odds at places. So give me the Cubs on the run line, -1.5, +148 against the Marlins here. I like that one a lot. Also, we've got Marcus Semien over 0.5 RBI. You get plus money, +165 on that. And then Cody Bellinger in this matchup today, starting to kind of I feel like kick out of the slump a little bit. Over 0.5 runs scored for him at +140. So I think those are some really nice plus money bets on a lighter schedule today. So the Cubs on that -1.5 run line, Marcus Semien over the RBI 0.5 and over the run 0.5 number here for Cody Bellinger. No parlays for me today because it's just, again, limited Thursday slate. But Welsh, what do you have for the people that's fun on the betting side of things?
I was literally locking in a couple of those bets because not only is it like massively low today in the amount of games that are played, most of them are playing in like 5 or 10 minutes. Like they're early. So I don't know why they're also throwing to us early. So make sure to get your bets in. My play of the day is a later day bet though. So you got a little bit of wiggle room, and I'm going with my Diamondbacks through the first 5 innings. I'm taking the money line, which is plus money, plus 130. They're going up against the Giants and Logan Webb. Ryan Nelson is on the mound, so that's why it's a little bit less. But the Diamondbacks, or you're getting plus money on it, the Diamondbacks are the number 1 scoring team through the first 5 innings, while the Giants are on the bottom 5 of the league in scoring through the first 5. Diamondbacks, over half of their starting roster actually has a career 300-plus average against Logan Webb. Logan Webb's been okay so far this year. The Giants, they actually do worse against righties than lefties. And Ryan Nelson, though his ERA has been a little bit inflated, is actually a little bit better than his stats are actually showing. XFIP is over a full run lower. So I'm going to take those first 5 innings where there's actually almost a 2-run difference between them in scoring on the year. I'm going to take plus money on the Diamondbacks. That's my favorite play of the day through the first 5. My others, it's literally about to start up. I had someone yesterday call me the Nerfy God because we've been hitting them good.
The Nerfies were good yesterday too, let me tell you.
Yeah, and this one's a little bit riskier, and I say that, and I'll probably lose it. But I'm going with the Angels and Tampa Bay, no run first inning. The odds between like 120, 150, even dropping a little bit. Ryan Pepio, I think that's the key, is the Rays stopping the Angels a little bit, and Pepio's on the mound, which I like. And Griffin Canning with the Rays lineup, I'm a little bit less worried about. So that's my Nerfy play number 2. And then finally, I'm going to back Jack Leiter. I did a social video on Jack Leiter for you guys to watch, and I'm going Texas money line, which is right at that like minus 120 marker. It's actually pretty even odds because they don't know what they're getting. But guess what? Jack Leiter's been striking out guys, not walking, but he's got a home run problem. But the Tigers have not been hitting righties super well. They have not been hitting homers super well. And I think this is actually a pretty good matchup for Jack Leiter, especially in his debut. Kenta Maeda over 10 home run on fly balls, 10%. So I'm going to back the Texas Rangers and take the money line for my third bet because, boy, it is some hard work mining for bets today with the short slate.
It is. But here's the thing, and I know when it's day games, people are saying, if I can't watch the show live, unfortunately, I'm going to miss stuff. But this is your opportunity. Again, download the Betting Pros app, follow Welsh, follow myself over on Betting Pros. You can follow us at bettingpros.com/Joe/Welsh. And while you're there, make sure you go to bettingpros.com/leading off and join our group. Make your picks. You don't even have to make wagers. Just make the picks. Remember, starting tomorrow to next Friday, we're going to be rewarding the best picker that there is in terms of the ROI. And we're going to give you a free hat, free t-shirt, something free here.
Do we get it too?
Fantasy Pros. No, we get nothing. If we're the best, we get nothing. We'll go to the next person because we're men of the people here on the channel. That's what we do. But we want you to be involved with that. Again, download the Betting Pros app, and I log my bets early in the morning. My favorite things at probably around by 9 o'clock in the morning on Eastern time. So that's a great way, especially if you can't see the show and you want to get involved or see what we're in on. That's going to be locked in there well before the show, before those 1 o'clock games start on the East Coast. So just wanted to get that out there. Those are the best bets of the day for Thursday in Major League Baseball. Before we get to the home run calls and the wheel, I assume we're back.
No wheel. Wheel failed us yesterday.
No wheel. That's it. The wheel is dead. There was a good question here. I wanted to pull this up from Jorge Welsh. How close is pretty soon for Christian Scott?
Everybody that I mentioned to you, I think we're in the 2-week window. Now, I don't have a magic wand. It might not happen, but this might be like May 1st, right around there. I think this next week is really important because then you're pushing back any of that like extra year compensation. But all 5 of those guys that we talked about, my assumption is in the 2 weeks. So if May 1st happens and they're not up, I would be a little bit surprised. And then maybe I'm making other moves. But then the problem is like, I think they'll be up any day. But you know what? Hey, sometimes I'm right about this. And then sometimes it's Christian Encarnacion Strand.
The Scott one would surprise me because I feel like, again, with Buteau pitching how well he's pitched and Senga on his way back, I think that one might take longer. I could be totally like Welsh, like it'd be totally wrong. You never know. These organizations, sometimes they just flip the script. I think it would be very interesting to see, how Hauser and Manaea pitch, because again, Manaea specifically, if he has another bad outing, you could easily move him to the bullpen Like that's a move that you could make, and it would probably be better for everybody involved. So that's
and like, how long do you want a talented young pitcher to
be wasting good outings
in AAA? Like how many innings are they going to be comfortable with come May if Manaea is stinking or Hauser stinking and not wanting to give him an opportunity? So
I don't think
that's
we'll
why
see Christian Scott in April. I really don't. Definitely not.
Then
I'd be surprised. I hope so. That would be nice. You know what else I'd like to see? Somebody win this, the Jose Ramirez autographed jersey. Just drop your comments below on a video. Subscribe to Fantasy Pros MLB. Yeah. And that's it. That's all you got to do to win this. And it's time to look at the home run board and continue on. So I have fallen down here. I'm just at 8 now with everybody else.
Everybody else joined you.
Jeez. Everybody caught up. I've been stone cold recently. So Welsh, now that you're back to picking your own home runs like a big boy, who do you have today?
Yeah, big boy taking his own home runs. I'm back in those Texas Rangers, and I'm going to back Adolis Garcia. So like I said, outside of Jack Leiter, I think one of the bigger home run to fly ball ratios is Kenta Maeda today. So I'm going to attack for one of the bigger power hitters in Adolis. So there you go.
There you go. I'm going to go with Cody Bellinger. Again, if I'm already invested in him, I'm going to continue. He actually, so far this year against left-handers has been pretty good. AJ Puck's on the mound. He's not long for this game. Give me middle relief, and I shall show you home runs. That's what I say. So hopefully we're right about this. I'd like to get up to 9 to that top spot. That's what I'd like to do. And of course, if you want to get in on all the fun, join our Discord, fantasypros.com/chat. Join the home run call channel. It's fun. It's free. You have a great time there. And of course, the winner's going to get a signed Vladimir Guerrero bat. He doesn't need it, so we're going to give it to you. That's it. Welsh, this was a jam-packed show. Lots of talk about the youth of baseball. For a light slate of Major League Baseball, I felt like, as the kids say, we ate today.
We cooked, I think.
You ate yesterday.
A better one. Yeah,
we ate collectively.
There's like nothing left, by the way. It's a giant bot. My kids everybody
what'd
got
your kids think of the tricolor cookies?
The tricolors were number one. I was actually
had they ever had them or no?
No, never had any of those things. My wife got very excited about the cannoli, and then the kids demolished the tricolors. A big hit in the household today, but we're not eating today because we ate and everyone was up super late now, all sugared up last night. But yeah, jam packed. We cooked today, and short slates doesn't mean we don't have lots of info for everybody. So hopefully y'all enjoyed.
There you go. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Enjoy your baseball.
Peace.